Hi, this is Sue and Jack at Backs Etc. and today we're going to take you through a series of exercises that are going to help with tension in the jaw and the ear area, and they can be really good when we're working in this area in sessions with me as a complement. So without further ado, Jack is going to demonstrate, and I'll sort of demonstrate but talk you through, so you just follow along with the exercises. So the first thing is to massage into this muscle below the jawbone, below the cheekbones on either side, which is called the masseter. And so you're just going to massage into the tender areas, nice big circles, right below the cheekbones. And you can go in either direction. So we'll just keep going at this for a few seconds. And then I'm going to get Jack to move his fingers up above his ears, because here's the temporalis, which is another muscle that operates the jaw. And you can often find some really nice tender spots in this area. So again, you can massage nice and slowly and deliberately in either direction up here. And obviously you can spend a little bit more time if it feels tighter, more painful, although you don't want to overdo it either. Now I'm going to get Jack to take his knuckles and push his knuckles back into that temporalis area. And again, you can sort of do little circles, but at the same time now he is going to open his jaw. So now hold the hand still and then just open the jaw, and in fact just push up slightly with the hands and close. And so you're pushing up as you're opening down. And the couple of things I want Jack to be really aware of as he's doing this is to keep his neck long and chin back. So he's opening his jaw, but he's not moving the head forward to do it. That is through the whole way through his exercise. We want the head and neck kept still. We're just trying to move the jaw around. Now he's going to come down with his knuckles below the cheekbones, back on that masseter muscle, and the same thing. He's going to push up into the cheekbones and open the jaw. And again, the other key thing is, as he opens his jaw, he's going to try and open and maybe slightly stick that jaw forward. Because what we often do when we're opening our jaw is we just open and bring it back, which really compresses into the jaw joint. So just learning to give a bit more space there. Just a couple more of those. And then we're going to come on to the ears. That's something we often forget about completely, but we can build up a lot of tension and tenderness. So first of all, Jack's going to grab hold of just around the earlobes, and literally holding on nicely, and maybe with a little bit of the ear just above the earlobe as well. He's just doing some nice big circles in either direction. So about 5 one way, 5 the other way. And you may feel some crackling and a bit of tenderness, and that's okay, but if it's too much, you just bring back the pressure. Then he's going to grab onto the top of his ears and do very similar things. So we're going circles in either direction. Holding and pulling, and you can even sort of get hold, because the ear curls over, and you can sort of try and flatten out that curve, because that can get very tender too. So really you can work into any area of the outer ear without causing any problems. The third circles is going to be in the middle of the ear. There's kind of a little ridge right in the middle. Sometimes people have this pierced, and you can kind of grab onto this like a little handle with your thumb and first finger, and again he's going to do some circles forwards and backwards. And this kind of tension we can get when we've had sinus or sort of ear infections, and this can help release gunk in the ear. And then the final thing he's going to do for the ear is just with his knuckle again, just right in front of the ear, just where the joint is, he's just going to push in with the knuckles and just breathe. And again, keeping neck long, chin back, and when we breathe, we're going to breathe nicely through the nose, and this sometimes can really help open things up. Wonderful. And then he'll go back to holding on to the earlobe again and pulling down, and at the same time he's going to yawn. Open his mouth wide and yawn. And this can actually free off eustachian tubes. This can really start to open up through that area. So do about 3 or 4 of those. Okay, so now we're going to come to the neck. So we're going to use your hand going around the back of your neck, just past your spine, just under the skull, and with those fingers Jack is just going to massage into that area, just circles, pulling, just getting rid of that tension. in that area. So it's easier to do, he's doing his left hand and he's getting into the right, sorry, the other way around, right hand into the left side. Yes, as anyone comes to see me knows, I often get my sides mixed up. And then he's going to swap over and do the same thing on the other side. Just nicely and slowly massaging into the muscles right there. Then he's going to do a stretch for the suboccipitals just below the skull. So he's going to take his right hand onto the left side of the head and he's just going to tuck his chin down. So you're not really pulling your head all the way forward, you're really bringing the chin down and in and just using the pressure of the arm to create a stretch through the back of the neck. And you should feel that on the opposite side to the hand that you're pulling with. And just hold that and breathe and try and relax and let the head come further forward. So you just stay there doing that for 3 or 4 breaths, which I think we've done a few, and then swap and do exactly the same thing on the other side. Right, and now we're going to come to the muscles on the front of the neck. So I'm going to get Jack to turn his head to one side and he's going to massage, just pull down from the tissues under the jaw all the way down towards the collarbone. You're just digging, you're just stretching the tissues across there. You can, to make this a little bit stronger if you need to, just jut the chin forward and that just creates a bit more stretch through that area. So just a couple more on that side and you can pull down from anywhere, from back from the ear all the way out to the angle of the jaw. And he's going to turn around and do the same thing on the other side. So about 4 or 5 pulls of that.
That was tender.
Yeah?
Yeah.
Yeah, and you may find that one side is tighter than the other and that's the side that you may be going to do a little bit more on that side than the other. Okay, so now we're going to come back to some more exercises for the jaw. The first thing is Jack is going to keep the tip of the tongue on the roof of his mouth and he is going to open his jaw as wide as he can 5 times, keeping the tongue up. And again, it's really important while he's doing this, he's keeping his neck long, chin back, neck long and tucked, but as he opens, he's trying to open his chin reasonably far forward, giving himself a slight underbite as opposed to re-tucking that chin back. But the key thing is not to let the head drift forward and not to use neck movement as a substitute for jaw movement. Excellent, I think he's done enough of those. And then now he's going to open his mouth and do some lateral shifts. He's going to shift the mandible, the lower jaw, slowly with control from one side to the other. Now this may be a little bit difficult for people to do, and so you could do this in front of a mirror, or you can put your fingers on the mandible and just use that as a guide to work out how to shift from one side to the other, because sometimes it'll be harder one side and the other, and this is a great exercise to keep doing, not in one session but over time, until you even out any imbalances. Good stuff. Now we're going to come up to my favourite exercises, which is a way of opening the jaw with the tongue. So Jack is going to put his tongue behind his lower teeth and he is going to open the jaw again, open, keeping the jaw forward, but really pushing on the back of the teeth with the tongue. So this is a great tongue exercise and getting a good stretch through the jaw tissues. So he's going to open, hold for a couple of seconds, close, because this can be really tiring if you keep this held for too long. So it's just opening, and it's also impossible to do this exercise without going completely buggy in the eyes.
That's mental.
And then there's a passive version of this. So what Jack's going to do is put both of his hands, just the web of the hand, on the lower jaw, and again keeping the neck long, chin back, and just pulling the jaw down and breathing through the nose and just relaxing into that stretch to really give a good stretch through the jaw muscles. Okay, we're almost there. The next exercise is for the platysma, which is a very very superficial muscle on the front of the neck. So what Jack's going to do is he's going to put his hands just below the collarbone on the sternum and applying a pressure down towards his feet. And as he does that, he's going to tuck his head, so his neck goes long and back. And as it gets to the top, he's going to hold for a little bit. And you should feel a stretch right through these tissues. And to make that stretch a little bit more strong, he pulls down here and then he can stick his chin forwards again. So you're sticking the jaw forwards to really emphasize that stretch in the front of the neck. Lovely. And then the final thing is, now we've sort of opened things up and got things moving well, he's going to do a few rounds of How Now, Brown Cow, which just really opens up the throat.
How now, brown cow. How now, brown
Now, if
cow.
you feel very silly doing this, you can make the shapes without actually making the noise. But it's a really good throat opener, and for those of us that hold our jaw clenched all the time, it's a really good way of relaxing it. Hope you find this helpful, and bye for now.